How are you, Nick? Okay?
I'm well. Yes, thank you very much.
Good. Well, we're just going through Greenwich Borough, but we don't mind. We might as well just turn our attention to you if you're here, because obviously there's going to be a lot of people asking obviously questions. How's your last few weeks been? Obviously with the announcement with Ryman, etc.
Very busy. Likely to be very busy for the next few weeks as well. Yeah.
Obviously, you know, I think people outside of football have been a big shock. Ryman obviously ending their sponsorship. But obviously the good news with Mitre coming in on the same press release, that's obviously good for the league and also good for Mitre.
Yeah, we're delighted with that. Ryman, I've got to say, have been fantastic with us. You know, they have indicated to us over the last sort of 6 months, saying, look, you do understand that, you know, 20 years it loses its sheen, it does all those things. And they said to us, they said at the start of this season, look, can you go and see what else there is? So that gave us the ability to go to speak to other people. And that I've been doing that all season. I mean, if I rack up the man hours that we've all been involved in, it's quite considerable. And you know, we are moving forward. I've still got, well, I had one company pull out today that say no, they're not interested, but we're down to 2 or 3 others that we're talking to. Before I came out today to drive up here, spoke with one company who said, we're interested, what is it? And so, you know, I've sort of said the sort of figure we're looking for, and they said, right, can you give us full details? And coming up here, I've been dictating a letter to go, email to go to them tomorrow, setting out all the ways in which they can provide money for the league.
As a chairman, obviously, you know, you've had that where you've got to find a sponsor, but does that give you a little bit of a, I'd say, excitement that you can be, obviously you're going to be known from a new sponsor? Because everyone that I've spoken to in the last couple of weeks has gone, it's going to be really weird, Ryman, that people actually think that is the league.
Yeah, yeah. You know, the press release,
20 years.
The press release we did, Theo encapsulated it perfectly. There are people playing in the league today who don't know anything else. And what do we get? More than anything, we get from people, what happened to the Isthmian League? Well, you know, the one thing I can say to you is what we're working on is that the sponsor that comes in will have Isthmian brought back into the name. That's what we want to do. Yeah. You know, that is our business plan, and that's what we want to try and do.
Everyone, obviously, you know, the name of the show is the Ryman Man show here as well, but, you know, people say about you don't get much as a sponsor, what do you get? But surely, for a future sponsor person, that is what we should be speaking about, that people think Ryman League is the actual league, is a big push as well. And
the company I spoke to this afternoon said they're a company who have been involved around the fringes of football in the past. They're really energised, they want to come back in, and they see us as being able to provide that. You know, any time, and I've been involved with a number of sponsors, you know, with Alan Turvey previously, you know, we sort of were involved with going back to Vauxhall or that way, and Servo Wall. The first thing you do, you identify what that company wants to do. Do you want just a name awareness? Do you want to sell goods? I mean, as I say, go back 30 odd years to Servo Wall. They wanted to sell radiators and heating systems. We paid a club £40. Absolutely, we used to pay clubs £40 for an installation. Yeah. You know, to encourage that. Vauxhall didn't want to sell cars. They wanted it ultimately, but they wanted name awareness. Yeah. So you identify what a company wants to do. Ryman, you know, we're the victims of our own success in many ways because everybody knows Ryman. That at one stage it was people thought that Ryman was a football league.
Well, that's what I was saying. More than a station.
Well, if you remember, they changed their own advertising 2 or 3 years ago to say Ryman the Stationer. Yeah. So, you know, you always say Ryman, not the football league. You know, it's that type of thing. So, yeah, we're very busy. You know, I'm hoping that we're going to be able to announce something in the next couple of weeks. But as you say, with Mitre as well, you know, that is one positive. Yeah. New football, new technology, and one colour throughout the season. There'll be a yellow ball starting in August all the way through to May.
More than 10?
That's how we haven't won in a yellow ball yet.
Well, there you go. So that's the sort of thing that we're looking for.
Yeah.
It's a step on. It's no disrespect to the current people, but it's just changing. We've got a really good offer from Mitre. They're an excellent company, and I think that people will appreciate the deal we've done.
Also, you've got the League Cup and that now that maybe League sponsoring. Are you looking for the main sponsor to do that as well? Or is that just another option?
Well, the company that we're sort of really talking to at the moment only want the title sponsorship. So we have available the League Cup, the Development League, the Youth League, Manager of the Month. It's all there.
So the Manager of the Month going as well with the.
Well, currently, Macron's help the Manager of the Month.
Okay.
Don't really, we have Nick Rowe tailoring, so every Manager of the Month gets a free suit. I see you haven't won it recently.
I have won it. To be fair, my results are that bad. I've had to give it back.
We brought in the Coach of the Year this year with Precision coming on board. Want to develop that sort of thing. We've got Mark Anderson coming in with doing the Community Club of the Year. We've got Programme Awards coming in. We've tried to really bring in people to do partnerships with, and Mitre is part of that. And if we can get a company of their standing, it just goes to show how well thought of our level of football is.
Yeah, so obviously it's more positive than obviously disappointing or upsetting with the relationship leaving, but
of course
that won't go.
What I do hope and I believe will be the case is that we will not lose the relationship with Theo and Kit Ross and Ian and all those at Ryman. We will still keep with them. They love our football. They love the league. They love our level of football.
Just going on to the football, obviously, I don't know if you can talk about it, but is there any news with the restructuring or the step coming in yet? We spoke briefly about it last time you came in.
Well, it was a big item in the non-league paper yesterday. The FA Council approved the structure, the skeleton at their meeting last Wednesday. So there will be an additional division at Step 3 and there will be an additional division at Step 4. Where we go from there, all the details we're currently working with. We're consulting with the leagues, which is something that hasn't always happened in the past. And the trouble is that, when you do get consultation, you go to people, the danger you run is that you say to people, well, what do you think? And they give you a view and you do something else. They say, well, what's the point of consulting? So, yes, we're consulting, we're asking people what their views are. It doesn't mean that we're going to adopt those views, but we are trying to see, we know we won't please all the people.
It's that 18-19 season, yeah?
It's for 18-19 season. So the one thing we've done is we've started looking at the regulations for 17-18. It's no secret that at our clubs meeting a couple of weeks ago, we asked people what do they want, because there is a possibility of saying no relegation next season, but the clubs were unanimous saying they wanted some form of relegation. So my mandate is to go forward saying that there's one club relegated at the end of next season from Step 3 and one from each of the Step 4 divisions.
Wow, Step 3, where there's been 4 in the last week, that's a big... So that's even more to go up if you're in the playoffs. There's only one. I'm not saying you can come down, but that's a big incentive.
Yeah. So Step 4 next year, 2 promoted automatically from each division, and 1 more from the playoffs. So there's 3 promotion. Yeah. 3 promotion places. So so what we've done in doing.
The chairman like cut the budget. We're going next year. Not mine though, by the way.
But that was why we didn't want to have a dead season next year. If we'd said no relegation, it was a negative in both 3 and 4. Whereas by saying one club's relegated at Step 3, it means there's an extra club coming up at Step 4.
And also opens up the extra playoff place for 6th.
Yeah, absolutely. So, it's all very positive, and only 1 relegated at Step 4 means that there's, or bringing in a relegation at Step 4, which we have at the moment anyway, means that we'll promote 26 clubs from Step 5.
That's what I was going to say, so that works out, 2 teams per...
Virtually, well, there's 14 divisions there, and there's still an discussion to be had as to whether there's a bias put towards the north, where there's historically been a problem. But hopefully this season we'll start to address that because of the clubs that are applying. You've got South Shields who are up there, have applied, Bishop Auckland have applied. And the other thing we're trying to do is we're trying to change the grading.
I was just about to say, would the ground grading be lenient over that period?
Well, that's what we're looking at. That's
not a yes.
Our aim is to change the, currently at step 5 it's an anomaly because at all the other steps you get a membership grade, and as long as you've got that you get promotion, you have to get the next level by the following 31st March. At step 5 we have a membership grade and a promotion grade. So you have to be in the membership grade to be in step 5, and you've got to have the promotion grade E to go forward. What we're trying to do is to bring that down to just one membership grade, because that way we can then have automatic promotion. So no longer do you have a situation where a club says, oh no, we don't want to go up. They will have to go up. That way we get a more even distribution geographically. We don't have the imbalance that we have at the moment. And it will take a couple of years to work out, but I believe it will be a better system.
All sounds positive.
Well, does that mean? Will it mean eventually then that the league itself will have more than 3 leagues in the Eastern League?
I can't say for certain. I mean, all I would say to you is we're certainly bidding to run one of the extra divisions. Yeah.
Which obviously we've got the teams from the north that are we've set up there that could restructure, because we are a little bit all over the place.
Yeah, I mean, what I believe will happen is that, and the aim of the restructuring is to give less travelling.
Yeah.
I mean, I do believe, and I mean this in the nicest way, that those outside the M25 don't understand what a negative the M25 is. Our travelling on a Saturday is just a nightmare.
Yeah.
You going to matches, me going to matches, all of us. It's an absolute nightmare.
So you go that way, we go that way. We're trying to get through the tunnel from us, but you're going the other way. And it is, you're 100% right. It is difficult.
So what we're trying to do is to make sure, and any geographical area that is sort of not part of us will hopefully actually see a positive, because they will be part of a league that means less travelling for them. Yeah. So I mean, the obvious one, the elephant in the room is the sort of North Suffolk. So those clubs hopefully will have an easier journey to more clubs. So they'll play like the Kings Lynn's and that sort of thing, and the Cambridge cities that they virtually pass on the way down to our clubs at the moment. They will all be together, so they'll have less travelling. We will have less clubs at each level, which means there'll be less games. Now, I see that as a positive, because I hope for clubs, and you, Keith, you're a coacher. You coach your team, but how many times do you get to actually coach? You're playing midweek matches.
Before Christmas, no. There is.
Absolutely.
You keep saying I have a go about the fixtures because of that, and it isn't down to the league, but that is. You're 100% right. And you made the valid point before you mentioned this last time about less games. And ideally, not many managers would like less games, but when it is, you're getting hammered like that, and you can't get players resting, and you do need to coach, as you said. It does make a big difference.
But also sometimes it must be really nice to be able to say to the boys, right fellas, see you Thursday, don't worry about Tuesday. You can actually, you've got that option. At the moment you've got no option. You've got to play every Tuesday, from August right the way through to December. You're playing every week, and that can't be good. So at step 4 you will go down to 20 clubs. You're going to save 4 midweek matches. That's all, 4 home matches, whether it's midweek or not. What we haven't decided yet is whether we're going to shorten the season to say so clubs don't have to pay so much money. We'll be a 38-week season in 17-18. So do clubs want to be less? Do they still want to have some that start later, so that we don't start on the first Saturday in August?
That is that the FA Cup kicks in, and then we're in the situation where some of the league teams this year below us that were playing their first game was an FA Cup game.
Yeah.
So it's a juggle, isn't it?
Yeah, and a lot of the Step 5 leagues were very unhappy at what happened for them. We've got to make sure that doesn't happen to our guys. And again, we need to take soundings, and that's why the meeting we had at clubs was really helpful for clubs to say, we think we know. On the board, we have this lofty position that we say, well, we think this will be good, but actually we get that opportunity to go to clubs and say, what do you want to do? put your hand up, you actually have a direct say in what it is, and I just think that's a really great step forward for the league.
Yeah.
According to the non-league paper in front of me, it says the non-league structure, for anybody that doesn't know, it's a new division at step 3 and step 4. Ownership and footprint of the new division is yet to be decided. 2 new leagues, stroke divisions at step 6, one in Essex area, no current provision, and another division towards the northwest, footprint yet to be decided. 2 step 7 leagues in Sussex, 1 east, 1 west, 1 new step 7 division in Lincolnshire. Number of clubs per division likely to change from step 1, 24, step 2, 22, step 3, 22, step 4, 20, step 5, 20, step 6, 18 to 20, and step 7, 16 max. Leagues committees have flexible dependent on all relevant factors.
That's it, that's the summary of it. I mean, the meeting that we've had here tonight in the other room was exactly about establishing the new step 6 division in the South Essex area, the eastern counties area. I try and choose my words carefully, so as not to offend anybody. But that south area, doesn't have a step 6. So what happens? That's a negative on clubs at step 7. They got to actually get into step. They got to jump from 7 to 5. So that's what we've been working on that now all season. And it looks like we've got agreement in principle going forward. We think that we can achieve two divisions of probably 16 to start with, but we can go to 18, so 36 clubs.
Would that also let teams put not their reserves in it that are 2 leagues above, like obviously that happens where we are in Kent?
Yeah. Yeah.
That also helps. I don't know what Gary thinks about the development side. I know Phoenix have benefited massively from it.
I mean, obviously we run our own development league in the Ryman, and what we're hoping is that clubs will use that for their reserves, for the development side, because we want that to be a strong competition, and the more clubs we can get into that, the better it is. We've got 28 in it this season. I'd love for that to be up to full strength at 32. So I hope you'll both think about that.
They've got one.
Yeah.
We used to before I come, and I know there was issues that had nothing to do with the league, and when I was at Thames, we had one.
Yeah. I mean, it's just that's we see that as the right way forward. But step 6, yes, the reserve sides can go into step 6, but they can't get any higher. So it's a little bit of a negative to allow them in and say, you can go into step 6, but you can't go to 5.
Yeah.
So we still get. Ideally, we will get first teams into that step 6 division.
Of course. So when you're doing your negotiation for the sponsorship, do you think you might put a word in for the show?
Absolutely.
We've got to plug you here.
Absolutely right.
Need no name, don't we?
Oh, we can have some.
Yeah.
We need a new name.
Yeah. Anyone who's been on as well gets a trophy.
Yeah. I think the Isthmian Roundup show sounds good to me.
It does. Well, we'd be happy with that.
He's the boss. That's what he wants.
You're the boss.
It's, one of the things that we came up with sort of 5 years ago is to develop the Isthmian brand.
Yeah.
Which is one of the reasons we want to bring the name back in if we can. But we're also trying to get involved in women's football. We're trying to embrace the idea of the community clubs. So we want our clubs to be part of this. We've got a meeting on the 4th of May where we're inviting all our clubs and all the women's clubs in the London and South East and the eastern regions to come together. We've got addresses. We've got Rachel Pavlo from the Football Association. I've asked Caroline Barker, who's going to try, and if she's not committed at Radio 5, to come to it, just to put clubs together if they're interested. One of the things for our clubs to actually get more of a community feel, so clubs that don't have women's sides at the moment, to bring in a women's team, and for the women's team to say, can we at least just to start with have a link up so they can come and play on the ground. So for a club that's only got like its first team and development side playing on there, maybe they would like to bring a women's team into it. So that we can again develop it. So that I think the great thing is that, and what I try to sell as the Isthmian brand is community clubs. You look at what some of our clubs do within the community, it's mind blowing.
Yeah. No, it's true. But we were just talking about yours and that earlier, so.
Yeah, so Well, unfortunately, time's run away from us yet again. 2 hours have absolutely flown by. But a massive thank you to everybody around the table, to Elliot, to Liam, to Gary, to the boss, Nick, to Glenn and to Keith. And of course, enjoy your football over the weekend. Hopefully the weather will hold off for you so you all get your games in over the weekend. But we'll be back next week. And next week we'll have Corinthian Casuals with us next week on the phone. We're working on a special guest as well to come into the studio and be with us next week. And don't forget the podcast itself. We'll have that out for you, and that will be on Audio Boom. And also you can see on iTunes as well. If you just tap in Ryman Roundup Show on iTunes, you'll see all the other 80 plus shows that are all there on iTunes ready for you to have a listen to. But enjoy your week, and hope all the results go the way you want them to.
Would you like me to try and get